Hi guys, I have been waiting so long to do this video for you. You guys, guess what's here? My book! Alright, so long story short, back in March I was approached by a publisher to write a book and I jumped at the opportunity. 9 months later, here it is. A lot of people ask, what's it about? And I really wanted to take this video to talk about what's it about, why I wrote it, and what I want you guys to get from it. My philosophy is, if you read my site, I like to keep things nice, to the point, and useful. This is what the book is about. It's a little book. It's a nice, day read. I didn't want to give you guys a huge book. You're not going to read it, or you could read it. I personally wouldn't read it. I wanted to have a book that I would read, that I would reference to, because I know what section things are going to be in, and not just because I wrote it, but because it's very logically combined together. So here it is, and basically there are 9 chapters. And what I really wanted to show you guys was, menu planning. I wanted to kind of have you guys know what I go through to plan a menu for my family, considering budget, but also considering, food that's healthy, food that's also on, that everyone's going to like. So there's a whole thing on menu planning. My favorite chapter, other than my recipes, is the grocery store chapter. It was so much fun to write, because I was like, how the grocery store makes you want, makes you spend more. Did you know that when you go into the grocery store, you're always going to pass the flowers and the bakery, because they want you to get in a good mood and get hungry. There's little things like that. I talk about different colors that are used to stimulate, your appetite. So having these resources, knowing how the grocery store works, you can go into the grocery store and be like, you're not gonna get me. I know what I am doing. So it's more than, I'm not just saying, make a list and then go to the grocery store. No, I really go into all right, so you have your list, we got that. But we're going to know how the grocery store wants you to spend more. I mean, it's a business, right? And then I talk about the best times to go, to the store and all that. So it's not just at the, when you check out, they like you to buy impulse items. I go more beyond that, which I was really excited about that chapter, because that's one thing that a lot of people don't know about, and I'm very, very excited to tell you guys about. Okay, so you can tell I'm really excited about that chapter. Okay, number 3 is where to shop. So I don't just, say oh, best place to shop is, a local grocery store or Costco. I'm actually not a huge fan of the big bulk places. I talk about, using CVS or using Walgreens, or using actually, 7-Eleven for some shopping needs, that sort of thing. So I think that's a really interesting chapter to kind of broaden your horizons about where you shop. All right. One thing that is really dear and near to my heart is being on a budget is, hard. And being on a budget usually means that you get great prices on items or food that isn't the best quality, meaning it's full of processed junk. I have a whole chapter on eating healthy on a budget, which you can do, and I don't want to spoil all the little things about it, but it's I'm gluten-free, if you guys didn't know, for the last 3 years, and I literally cried. I remember going to Albertsons. Nobody knows the story, except my husband. I went into Albertsons right when I found out I had to be gluten-free, and seeing the lack of options and actually crying in Albertsons. Calling up my husband and crying because I felt so lost. So that chapter is really near and dear to my heart, because I've had to really step up my game, eat a lot healthier, not eat gluten, and I love gluten. I love breads, and how to kind of incorporate really expensive gluten-free breads with healthy eating, or have healthy eating and not even miss gluten. So that's a great chapter as well. And then, of course, I have a couponing 101 chapter for, people that, I have a lot of readers who are new to coupons, or people who are actually, novice with coupons. This is a great chapter because I really break it down and talk about, stacking coupons and understanding coupons, also talking about where you can get coupons online, and also about fake coupons. And that's a problem that I think is sadly getting worse, are fake coupons, and it's something that I talk about a lot on my site. So I was really excited to get that in the book because I really want to make sure everybody is educated on fake coupons so that they're not scammed. All right, number 6 is creating a stockpile. And if you didn't know, I love to be organized. If you follow me on Facebook, I'm always taking pictures of like, I have a new bookcase, or like how I've organized something, because having things organized, you're not rebuying things, you know. I remember having this problem when I first got married and really started like couponing, and I had a problem buying black beans, man. I would go to the store and be like, oh God, this is a great deal on black beans. Buy all these black beans and just like throw them in the, you know, pantry, and then be like, you know, go to the store and be like, oh my gosh, black beans on sale. And then I had like 15 cans of black beans, and like, I knew I had a problem. So organization since then has been a huge part of my life, and I talk about it in the book, and they're frugal, not be like, oh, you're gonna have to buy this system. No, I talk about frugal ways to, you know, color code things, knowing how things, you know, knowing, you know, color coding them and knowing, okay, you got to get through all the pinks before you can buy this product again. Or, oh my gosh, I'm through the pinks, now I can start looking for deals for that product again. That is in the book. Kids in the kitchen, I thought this was a really important one, and a main concept of the book that I wanted to really get across is that I was lucky enough to have parents that, you know, we cooked together every single night, and it was one of these things where it really creates bonding experiences. All my best memories as a child is cooking with my parents. It's, you know, we had the rosemary bush outside, and it's making, actually posted it on the site, is making my, you know, rosemary potatoes, roasted potatoes with my dad, and, you know, going down in my onesie to the rosemary bush and cutting out some sprigs and bringing back up and cutting it up and making that dish with my dad, and, you know, enjoying it. And it's one of these things I think is really important, is it's not just cooking dinner, it's creating those memories and creating the connections with your kids. So there's a whole chapter on how kids can help in the kitchen with you, because I would not be Budget Savvy Diva with all my recipes if I didn't have that childhood with my family. So there you go. I'm like gonna cry. Alright, so that's followed up with Budget Savvy Diva recipes. Of course, no book would be without my recipes. So there are about 40 recipes in it, and do not worry, there are new ones. So I just posted a pesto recipe a few weeks ago. There is a pesto recipe in the book as well, but they're different. The pesto recipe that I put on the site is like my own personal one. The one in the book is like my family's. So that's like understandable. But there are a good number of new recipes. There's some with ham. There is my marinara sauce. What else is there? Let's see. I can... these are 2 new ones. Oven fried chicken, ham and Swiss pockets. And then I have some really like the old favorites, my slow cooker mac and cheese, my slow cooker chicken Alfredo, my ultimate mashed potatoes are in there as well. So there is a nice mixture of new and old, just because a lot of people really like my old recipes and want to be able to still use them. Alright, and then the last recipe is leftovers, and I think that's a great deal with the budget, is how to utilize leftovers and not just be like, alright, we're having mac and cheese, you know, the next night. It's how to reinvent your leftovers so it's actually a whole new meal. So there's a whole chapter on different ways that I utilize different, you know, like leftover chicken or leftover veggies, that sort of thing. And my main purpose of that chapter is to like get your mind thinking too, like kind of get into my mindset of like thinking, okay, I have, you know, this leftover half of chicken breast in front of me. Okay, could I, you know, oh, you can just, you know, what, make a sandwich out of it? No, let's see if we can shred it and then add it to, you know, a chicken, make a little like chicken Alfredo, but let's change it up and make a chicken Alfredo bake to it. So it's a whole new different, completely different dish. Anyway, so that is all packed into this little bitty book, but it is like a little book but with a big punch. So I'm like, if you can't tell, I'm really excited about this book and I cannot wait for you guys to read it. I've gotten feedback already from people who've read it, and across the board they love it. So I'm like, yay. I am having a book tour, a national book tour. I'll put the link below, and that link will take you to my site where I'm talking about everything, and there are going to be more deets to the book tour. It's just one of these things where it's not just like me doing the book, it's like I'm usually like work alone, and it's so crazy to be like working with this huge group of people to with this book, like a publicist for only Amazon, a publicist for this, a publicist for that, you know, and I'm like, ah. So they're handling everything. So when they tell me information, I can tell you guys the information. Again, here it is. You know, I'm gonna have giveaways monthly on these, like, you know, signed sort of things. I know I'm babbling. Please just check it out. It's like already online. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Powell's, I mean, just like search it and it's everywhere. It's actually going to be in stores too. Powell's, Barnes & Noble, all that good stuff. A lot of independent indie bookstores are going to have it as well. I am able to breathe now. Bye until next time, guys.